presidents, you bitches know I did it all. Breaking China like a bully all, knocking down that great wall. Foreign policy, gun animals are being free fall. Music road, drugs control, so you're so feeling bold. Do what I can in Vietnam and turn the war in back cold. Making friends with Brezhnev, soldiers are being left in the dust in Fiat trust. Apollo lines above us. When to the moon will faking, I hope there's not a break in a water giggles on my plate. Might not have put the tape in. Alright, it's good to be back on top. I'm the trickiest of dickiest. My pomade is the slickiest. Nicknames on your lips, so impeach my ass, then kiss it. I'm quitting cause I'm bored. Pardoned by your Ford. But how the fuck say ain't no truck OTMZ till 74? Agnew, bring the bitches. R.I.P. the Gipper, gone too soon. In all my years of being a rap star, I have never profited until tonight. Got out of the Navy, V-painted white D, showing up that punk bitch album William Barclay. Back to the West Coast, house rap I rap and boast. Hate UAC, or me making commies toast. Mama was a Quaker, said never be a faker. Pious as a saint till I make your lady shake her. Money maker, gonna take a break, I'll break it down for y'all. The presidents and the residents, you bitches know I did it all. Breaking China like a bully all, knocking down that great wall. Foreign policy, gun animals are being free fall. Music road, drugs control, so you're so feeling bold. Do what I can in Vietnam and turn the war in back cold. Making friends with Brezhnev, soldiers are being left in the dust in Fiat trust. Apollo lines above us. When to the moon will faking, I hope there's not a break in a water giggles on my plate. Might not have put the tape in. Alright, it's good to be back on top. I'm the trickiest of dickiest. My pomade is the slickiest. Nicknames on your lips, so impeach my ass, then kiss it. I'm quitting cause I'm bored. Pardoned by your Ford. But how the fuck say ain't no truck OTMZ till 74? Agnew, bring the bitches. R.I.P. the Gipper, gone too soon. In all my years of being a rap star, I have never profited until tonight. Got out of the Navy, V-painted white D, showing up that punk bitch album William Barclay. Back to the West Coast, house rap I rap and boast. Hate UAC, or me making commies toast. Mama was a Quaker, said never be a faker. Pious as a saint till I make your lady shake her. Money maker, gonna take a break, I'll break it down for y'all. The presidents and the residents, you bitches know I did it all. Breaking China like a bully all, knocking down that great wall. Foreign policy, gun animals are being free fall. Music road, drugs control, so you're so feeling bold. Do what I can in Vietnam and turn the war in back cold. Making friends with Brezhnev, soldiers are being left in the dust in Fiat trust. Apollo lines above us. When to the moon will faking, I hope there's not a break in a water giggles on my plate. Might not have put the tape in. Alright, it's good to be back on top. I'm the trickiest of dickiest. My pomade is the slickiest. Nicknames on your lips, so impeach my ass, then kiss it. I'm quitting cause I'm bored. Pardoned by your Ford. But how the fuck say ain't no truck OTMZ till 74? Agnew, bring the bitches. R.I.P. the Gipper, gone too soon. In all my years of being a rap star, I have never profited until tonight. Got out of the Navy, V-painted white D, showing up that punk bitch album William Barclay. Back to the West Coast, house rap I rap and boast. Hate UAC, or me making commies toast. Mama was a Quaker, said never be a faker. Pious as a saint till I make your lady shake her. Money maker, gonna take a break, I'll break it down for y'all. The presidents and
Like to remember.
Hello. We're live.
Live.
I think-
Lev.
Hello.
Would someone check that I'm actually audible this time and have things running properly?
I can hear you.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hello. Welcome.
I've got an advert, so I can't watch.
You are marginally quieter than I am.
Okay, I will fix that by shouting. This is the one where I
Go ahead.
talk.
Cast thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy. Your G. Shut up.
Thaumat.
How's that? That should be better.
Yeah, you all sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Hooray.
On
So-
YouTube was still it's not a cult, Dad. That was a whole campaign ago.
Not a cult, Dad. We're a symbiotic collective for the unified good. What was I doing? I was bringing
It
up.
sounds like it's Rick and Morty.
I watched the first 2 seasons and liked them, and then never watched anymore.
I've watched random episodes and I've always
I have
liked them, but
never
I've just not
sat
bothered.
and watched anything more
Yeah.
than like short social
Like
media
clips.
snippets
Oh
of
yeah.
Rick and Morty.
So,
But I feel like I'd enjoy it. I just need to give it a proper go.
you have to be like really clever to get Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
The jokes are just
you have
there.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's another level.
Yeah, I love that.
There's
meme.
no low hanging fruit. Like,
You have to be
Anyway,
big
enough
brain.
about pretentious cartoons for adults.
It's like
This
one
is-
step above Big Bang Theory. It's not that
Yeah.
complicated, people.
Luckily,
Have you ever watched
Luckily-
Big Bang Theory without the laugh track?
oh god,
It's
yes.
the creepiest thing in the world. It's like
But yeah, but
everyone's
luckily,
people hostage.
to watch our campaign in D&D, you have to be really stupid. So
Yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
send a customized free hammer to all of our subscribers to just hit themselves with before they start watching.
yeah.
Which is
Tell
why
you what,
I'll-
It puts you into the right
Friend.
mindset.
pain, my familiar friend. Which is why I will do a brief summary of what happened last session as best as I can remember, because I have found where we got up to in my notes and I'm not moving from that point. There we go, I can see things. So, the party began their session in the town of Haven, boarding a ship bound for the realm of Pelagia, and specifically the city of Palexstad. On their way, they were to go through a portal, a sea portal, a very large stone building structure that would transport anyone who passes through it from one realm to another, and these realms connect and disconnect at different times, every 13 years to be precise. And so it is the re-emergence of the realm of Pelagia with all that it has to offer that has caused a convoy of predominantly military and government ships to make its way there, and this is the party that our party is travelling with. They boarded the Bright Spot, a commercial merchantman ship that had a few passengers in it, and there they quickly made friends with everyone and had a wonderful, lovely time as the peaceful and lovely journey to the portal to Pelagia commenced. And beautiful sunsets and birds, and a charming young man called Mr. Barleyclip, who was one of the midshipmen of the Bright Spot, wormed his way with innocent guile and charm into everyone's hearts. And as the party went through the portal, a catastrophe struck, and an enormous storm rocked the boat. It rocked the boat, baby, and caused untold
the baby.
damage. Individuals were thrown off the ship, screaming into the noisome storm that soon drowned out their wails. Individuals were crushed, individuals were smushed, and gnomes were mysterious at various times. And unfortunately, among
Buffalo
those
mushrooms.
confirmed at this point to be dead, are young Master Barleyclip, who died as Malachi made a heroic effort to save him, but just couldn't quite make it, and the young man fell to his painful, gruesome death.
It's only drowning in a thunderstorm. It probably isn't that bad.
I was thinking of the is it The Magician, the film with Michael Caine and Christian Bale, where Michael Caine says
Probably doesn't know it.
he tells someone that drowning's very peaceful, and then he says afterwards, once he finds out he's drowned a bunch of people. Actually, no, it's really not peaceful. I'm not saying that's why he drowned them, but I won't spoil the story. So the ship eventually, thanks to some help from the party who took turns putting out fires, helping people from various precarious points, and the ship eventually survived long enough to make its way out of the storm. And we left the session with the party on calm, still waters, the storm still raging in the distance as the ship slowly moves further and further away. And darkness descends, and they can see ahead of them as the last lights of day disappear. A few ships that have survived, those that came through earliest, through the portal. And the last sight that we saw before we ended the session were a number of rockets and flares being sent up by the ships just off in the distance.
And the captain got hit with chaff.
And yes, the captain got hit. Lieutenant Scarp was the first mate of the ship, and the Captain Shallin, who was resolute in his standing in position to steer the ship through the various treacherous storm-drafted treacheries.
Captain Gallant to be moving very
God. He was hit in the line of duty and was ushered away into his cabin, Lieutenant Scarp taking control of the ship. And I think that's where we will pick up.
End tonight's session.
A couple of NPCs that from my notes, just names-wise, because at the moment I've got Halcyon Garble and Melanie Grindle, the halfling-ish.
Yeah, who's the first one, sorry?
Hassim Garble.
Oh, yeah, Hassim Garble was a gnome.
Yeah, okay.
Marsha Gimling was
Melanie
the...
Grindle was his daughter, right?
His...
Hassim
Or
Gobble Gobble.
parent daughter.
It was the young woman who was with him.
Yeah.
I
Who's
think.
the one at the front of the ship that died? Question mark. I don't remember what happened to her.
She, you didn't see her again after you initially pulled her away from the edge of the ship.
I've also got Hassim Garble 2.
Yes, that's the halfling version of Hassim Garble because I forgot to
That's the
create
one
one.
that got squished.
He was squished. He was squished, and you tried and tried to save him, but alas, he blacked.
Okay, so he's dead.
Did-
and I've also
Did
got
Shaw
Hot
ever
Dwarf
leave the
Lady.
bedroom?
Did who? Sorry.
Did Shaw ever leave the cabin?
That's a
Not
good...
gonna lie, that seems like the best choice here.
I mean, yeah,
Just to
that's definitely the survival choice, isn't it?
Mhm.
Let me refresh my memory. No, you
Maybe
did
that
not.
was-
You did not see shore
On the seashore?
on the seashore,
Seashore.
but you did see shore on the second
Seashells?
deck.
Seashore.
Yeah.
What did she sell?
And yeah,
meth.
Hot Dwarf Lady.
Dwarf Lady was Marsha Gimling. You haven't seen her on deck.
Gimling.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's right there.
She was the one who was enjoying a good drink with Lorient and talking about all the mines that she owns. And then, of course, how could we forget that there was... I've forgotten his name. And the 4 gnomes? Yeah, 4 gnomes. And
Multiple gnomes and
Thurble Windshear,
Windshear.
who was the slightly spaced out druid, who was behaving
I'm
as...
getting Neil from the Young Ones vibes.
Yes, very much Neil from the other. So that was a situation as we found ourselves. Multi-gnome, new band name. And I think yeah, we'll pick it up from there. As to how you guys want to proceed.
Did
This-
Melody Grindle survive?
Well, we don't know who survived and who hasn't. In fact, as you're stood staring around at the chaos behind you and looking at your various wounds, the rope burns, the scuffed shins, whatever else, I don't think any of you took any major damage. Some of you took some side glances from debris and whatnot. You remember seeing the captain being kind of ushered below, to his cabin, and sailors are just running around repairing and trying to fix stuff, and you get the sense
I
that
cast fireball on one of no.
you get the sense from the jostling and the kind of pushing that you're a bit in the way when Lieutenant Scarp approaches and very, very solemnly, I don't suppose that any of you are rated seamen or able.
I am proficient with land vehicles.
I was thinking more the non-land kind, and any... No?
I can offer you emotional support. Maybe.
Well, that may well be useful for the men when we fully take account of what's happening. It's actually, well, you're a bit in the way here. We were very grateful, obviously, for all that you did during the storm, but if it's emotional support you can offer, then would you... I saw you speaking to a lot of the passengers, and I could do with a head count. And obviously we know some didn't survive. If I could ask you, if you don't mind, to check, and if anyone isn't
We shall
with
check on the
us,
passengers downstairs.
if you could get them out the way.
Very well, Lieutenant Scarp. We shall undertake this quest.
Well, it's not so much quest as tidying up, I suppose, but
We?
A task.
if that makes it more palatable to think of, then by all means I bequeath from ye this oldie quest. And
You can stop talking.
okay, thank you. I've a lot of stuff to do.
And Mr. Scarp, we don't have to worry about the body. We did lose the kid. Bali clip.
I've immediately headed down.
Okay, as you walk up, you see when
Don't
you
mind
say
he's tired.
when you mention Barley Clip, a genuine look of not despair, but as if he hadn't been so focused on what he's doing, he would despair. And I feared so when the lad didn't report straight away. Did you see him go?
He fell overboard.
Him and his father both.
His
Forgot what voice he
his father is
Long dead? Yeah, I'd imagine so.
quite very, very dead. But we all see what we see when the storm is, well, he will be severely missed. He was a good lad.
Could have sworn you were about to say waterlogged. Like he's been a bit more than that.
A bit of a monologue.
all that I can offer him is that I will do all in my power, and the captain the same, to see his posthumous promotion to lieutenant for his right. I'll be if you need me. He kind of wanders off and stands there for a second and looks around, trying to decide which way to go, and then sees a carpenter walking past and just runs off, kind of haranguing him. So you've been tasked with checking if and which passengers are wounded, alive.
Putting down all the wounded.
Look, it's literally just sort of
Did you
walking
say
down
putting
that
down?
corridor, and opening doors on each side, just looking into the room to see if there's anyone in there, and just counting out loud as he goes.
Okay, so on the passenger deck, you say?
Yes.
Right.
Hobart will make sure his maths is sound.
3
I'm
people
gonna
to
go
check
with
the
them just
list.
so I'm not alone.
Okay, so I'm messing with the volume slightly. Okay, so you head down, and you see in the first door on your right, you find. Where is my list? Where is my list? Here it is.
I suppose I should have asked. Were there any civilians still on deck?
There may have been.
You said Melody Grindle wasn't on.
Yes, Melody
deck.
Grindle wasn't on the deck. And in fact, the first door that you open on your right, you in fact find Melody.
Oh, and Marsha Gimling.
Marsha Gimling wasn't on deck. The gnomes weren't
Mr.
on
Shaw.
deck.
I
Mr.
got
Shaw
some
wasn't on
gnomes
deck. Yeah, but you find Marsha Gimling, and she's basically curled up on a bed with her hands over her ears. She doesn't respond to you as you kind of knock and tilt your head in. It's a mercy, really, isn't it?
I will pause. Like, if I was to just go sort of next, but seeing her sort of obviously suffering, he's gonna pause and sort of step in, put his hand on her leg.
On her leg.
Well, whatever. She's all sort of curled up. Just the first
Okay,
bit. Of
okay,
her,
right. Like, you're like tapping the foot, just walking.
Yeah, just sort
That's
of resting my hand, just like it's okay.
Alright.
Pick her up, check if she's still alive.
Shake her, see if any gold comes out.
Well, helping.
She kind of brings her leg further and like puts it under her dress. She doesn't seem like she particularly wants to be interacted with at this point.
They want to be hanged by the devil.
Hey,
This big
Colin
massive
is
red
conception.
tiefling comes in.
Hello, are you traumatized?
Would you like to talk to me about it?
I carry on as I leave the room. I go 1.
Yeah. So you carry on down, and you find in the on the left-hand side, first 2 cabins are empty. In another one, you find 2 gnomes dead on the floor. Carl, you recognize one of these gnomes as being the one that attacked you? Came at you aggressively for a gnome.
This one was acting weirdly during all of it.
Well, it's not anymore.
What's the other one?
Poke with your shit. It's 2 gnomes. They look almost identical. The only difference is the colour of the hat that they're wearing, which weirdly are still fully attached to their heads.
What color are the hats?
The one that had harassed Carl is green. The other one is blue.
I search their pockets and then take their hats.
Okay. Yeah. In the pockets of both, you find some dried meat
Okay.
and loose seed of various kinds. A really just mix of seeds. And in the one that had harassed Carl, you find a
God, it's
small
terrible, isn't it?
pouch. About golf ball
Chaining?
size.
Oh, you find it anyway, not me.
Is it an acorn?
It is full of teeth. Of many different sizes and creatures.
Okay, not
About-
what I was expecting.
About 30 or so different teeth.
Well, that is grim.
Is anything else you'd like to
Oh
do with
yeah,
the dead
I-
gnomes?
crap! I promised I'd sing.
Yep.
No, I will just count them. 2, 3.
Okay, you count 2 dead gnomes. You proceed further on. Now, on the left is
Did I see
another.
it by Melody as well? Was Melody okay in that right hand?
She's traumatized but alive.
Yeah.
I thought that was Marsha.
No, that was Melody. Sorry, you haven't
That was
found
Melody. Okay. That's
Marsha.
okay. Melody.
So on the right is your cabin, where Mr. Shaw was, and on the left
The
is
door open. Sure, you're alive.
you get no response.
Probably fine.
Step in. It is
It's
Shaw
probably
dead.
fine. It's breakfast soon. The beds are all tossed around the room. Like your bed, Carl, is just like up against the wall at a 45-degree angle, and Shaw
Not nailed
appears
down the bed. It's a fucking ship.
Shaw appears to have been crushed by the furniture. There is a fair amount of blood, and he's purple and battered.
All right. What's he got in his pockets?
He's searching Shaw.
Damn.
Of course.
Can I
Everyone.
get a investigation?
Can I make sure he's dead? I know you said purple, but
Yeah. As in a medicine check or a dagger to the throat?
no.
An
if the medicine check is bad enough,
investigation
I'll dagger.
I have a -2 to my investigation. So it's a
Okay.
9.
9. Okay. So you kind of drag the body out, and there's some weird noises as you do it. As you kind of lay him down, Deslin comes in for a medicine check as you rummage through his pockets. Deslin, you check the pulse. No pulse. But what you do notice is a ring with a crest on it that you recognize. Angus, you find a very fine black steel dagger and a note. Well, a piece of paper with a name on it.
And that name is?
That name is Whisper. And it just says specifically Whisper in Palixdad. But the rest of it appears to be blank.
Whisper.
What is the crest?
The crest is a symbol that you recognize as being associated with, although not necessarily directly sanctioned by, the Syndicate.
Hmm.
Whisper and Palak.
So,
So she
Syndicate
re-
ring,
Thank you.
black steel dagger, and a note for someone called Whisper
Is
in
the note-
Palixdad.
Sealed.
It's just folded like 4 times, and it just says "Whisper in Palixdad" on it. It's not in an envelope.
Open it and read it.
It's in blank.
Oh. I've
Can I
folded
see
up and sure.
You throw it out the
you
window.
I just hand it over and carry on.
What-
Carry on
what-
on my counting mission.
What?
Uh,
What?
I-
What is
Get
that?
the black steel dagger.
What was the note?
Oh, no, it's blank. There wasn't anything written on it.
Can I get anything from this, or do I think it's?
Give me
Investigation.
yeah, give me an investigation on it.
Oof. I'm not rolling as hard as I did last week.
You having seen the ring and the title on the note, you definitely feel like there's something more here. There's something a bit dodgy, but
Probably like illusionary or hidden.
you can't think what it is at the moment. It maybe it's Lorient barging down doors and counting, but something's not quite gelling for you at the moment.
Oh,
My head's still ringing a little bit from seeing the kid slowly
Yeah,
drowning.
you have just been through a slightly traumatic experience.
I'll hand it to Mr. Pennyworth and say, yeah, script could be hidden or something. I don't. Do you want to see?
So what do I see? I just see Whisper in Palakstad
Whisper in Palakstad.
and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Is there? Does it look like there's more like an empty space below it or anything, or is it just like down in the middle of the paper?
No, it's just on. Imagine it folded into four. The top sheet,
Yeah.
top quarter, just has Whisper in Palakstad. When you open it up, that
Right.
on either side, there's nothing other than those three words.
I see.
Whisper in Palakstad. you think?
I don't have. Oh,
Can
I
you
do
stand
have.
wide?
Hold on. What's
Uh,
this?
No, nothing. Doesn't seem to mean anything. It's. I said a name earlier, but it could be a name. It could be a.
That's annoying. I got illusory script, but that doesn't let me view an illusory script if there was one.
Unless it's your script, yeah.
So,
Well, we'll look
Lorien.
into this.
I'll keep that.
yes.
as you barge through the door opposite, you find two more gnomes. Neither appear to be moving.
I go and prod them both with my boot.
One, you kind of put your boot under and you roll him over, and as he kind of flops, you see blood down the nose, out the mouth, and as you nudge the other one, it immediately grapples your foot and starts gnawing at your boots, like a vicious.
How hurt does he look?
He's got some wounds on him, and it is kind of a. It reminds you of when you've seen animals that have been backed into a corner before.
Okay, I kick him.
With a
Just fucking boot him off.
yeah,
What
an almost
what is the
pathetic
ruckus over
amount of
there?
effort. He just like, and he just goes flying into the wall of the berth, and he drops down behind the bed, out of view. As I guess as Carl, how have I forgotten your character's name? It's because it's not on the
Hobart.
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 Yes, Hobart kind of pops his head around the corner.
What is the ruckus?
It's one in there. He's alive. A little bit bitey.
That's exactly what I put in my notes.
Wait, what? Bitey?
Hobart, you do hear growling coming from the bed.
Oh.
Be in the doorway.
Like that, but a bit more chewing on my boot.
Oh. Oh no, I don't have it.
Sort of, almost like a comedic aside. Like I'm talking to Hobart, but I'm like projecting my voice
Yeah.
over towards the bed. Well, maybe if he just came out and chilled the fuck out, I could heal his wounds a little. But,
the growling stops, and the bed kind of shakes a little bit, and you hear it. Hockey, monkey, back.
What?
I don't know what that says, but come out here. Let me
That-
put my hand
okay.
on you, and you'll feel better.
Little head pops up and gives you a skeptical squint. Coming up.
I know that the whole. It's not like that. It's a thing.
He looks over at Carl and he kind of.
Perhaps I'm a friendlier face and a bit more of his size. I'll step like to the front.
Can you do it?
As you step
I
forward,
can't heal, no, but I can get him to come to
the gnome keeps going. And get you closer.
And I point at Lorian.
I don't recommend getting too close to him by yourself.
If you let him bite you, I will let that happen for a little while.
Oh, okay. You know, can I see, like, why is he hurt?
He just got from what you can see of him, he's got a gash on his head, and he's not moving his left arm as much as his right. Nothing fatal looking.
I'll just sort of point at it, like, we can, he can heal.
I pull a
Make
bit of the
good.
dried meat that I got off the other gnomes' corpses out of my pouch and start chewing on it.
He sees that and his eyes go why?
I mean, if he doesn't want the help, then he doesn't want the help, does he?
Just needed
so-
to find out if he was alive. We can leave now.
Yes.
Very true. I pull out the pouch of teeth and like give that a little shake at him.
His eyes go very wide.
Oh, that.
Just slide my
He-
hand underneath my
he
duster
just
and grab a
stands
dagger.
up.
Just keep it there.
I don't know what that was. He just stands up and starts to like pull himself up on the bed.
Okay, that's working.
His
Shake it
eyes are
again.
wide, but his movement's very deliberate.
Shake it again.
I don't think I need to shake it again. So stand up to my sort of
His
full height.
hand goes
Start to
behind his
retract.
back,
I'll step behind
Ouch.
Lorian.
and he pulls
he-
out. Sorry, listen.
If he throws something, I'm gonna try to aim for that weapon and knock it out of the
Okay.
dagger.
What-
I am waiting to see what he pulls out from behind his back before I do anything else.
Okay. He pulls out a very pathetic looking stick, like it's a club. It's obviously a hard piece of root or something, a shillelagh type thing. And he kind of points it
Cast
at
fireball.
Hobart.
Me?
Yeah, and then he
Uh,
kind of gestures over and points at the bag.
oh, you want? I think he wants it.
Toss it to him.
Can I speak Infernal to Cooper here and say, if I could disarm him, can you get him? Can you grab him?
Yeah, I can probably try.
I can probably just grab him now.
Yeah, I start moving over towards the gnome with the bag of teeth, and then when I get into within arm's reach, I just grab him.
Can I get a dex or just a straight dex?
Straight
Or
down.
athletics if it's a
Okay.
grapple check.
Yes, yeah, whichever you prefer for the two.
Okay, I will go for an athletics check. 18 plus 7 is a lot.
Nice.
21.
It's a lot.
Okay, you
21.
the air kind of leaves his body. He's about to say something as you just grab him round the waist. It's like squeak. Immediately the weapon drops and he stops moving and he goes. "Ugh." He appears to be dead.
Either you grabbed him quite
Did you
hard
just
or
kill
he's
him?
faking.
You weren't made to kill him.
I pumped 2 points of lay on hands
It'd be
into it.
easier for the report.
Okay. Shit, that's a mechanical question I need to work out.
I think he's just faking it.
Yeah, you see the wound start to like heal over a little bit.
Is he playing possum?
I think so.
Is he dead?
He looks very dead, and he smells dead. He's emptied his bowels.
I drop
Could
him.
be very committed to the bit.
He kind of drops sprawled out on the edge of the bed, hanging down a little bit.
So let's just adjust my notes from 1 dead, 1 gnome, 1 live gnome, bit bitey to 2 dead
Yeah.
gnomes.
Can I see his like spirit leave his body?
You do not see his spirit leave his body.
These gnomes are some of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
Oh, so anyone down in the end bit?
So as you exit, you don't see anyone.
I will go and look, though, just in case there's anyone behind the corners or under the tables or dead anywhere.
Every so often you see sailors just coming and going and like, rushing. That appears to be everyone on the passenger deck.
Okay. I go and look down on the deck below.
Okay, I'll save you some.
I'll follow.
We won't like this is a big space. It's dark, down there. So, Carl, you can like strike up a light.
See in the dark.
Yeah, I'll cast a light on.
Your darkness is no challenge for me. Sailors rushing to and from, and you do eventually find that
doing?
although most of the stowed items were well stowed, this being a merchant ship, there are a few that have kind of spilled over, and in amidst them, you find the body of Marsha Gimling, the dwarf.
Can you go ahead and confirm if she's dead or not?
Lorient can.
Stab.
For a ship.
I imagine.
Can I make a medicine check to see if she is alive or pass?
Yes, of course. What'd you get?
19 plus
19.
nothing, so 19.
Okay.
Push that dice out for a little bit.
So it looks like it's similar to what you've seen on the top deck, a crushing, blunt force trauma kind of deal. It looks from like an American TV detective reconstruction, like she initially became trapped by some of the fallen items, and then more fell, and the crushing force, the weight was too much for her.
Gotcha.
But you are able to get the body out without too much stress now that the ship is on an even keel and stable.
Yeah, chuck her over my shoulder.
And then,
I think you should have been down.
can I get a perception check from whoever's looking around for people?
I'll be like shining my ring of light now.
15.
15, 23.
Ooh.
Very
Nice.
nice.
As to say, a
16.
ghost leans over Malachi's shoulder and says, "Pooping normally means you're dead." And he'll be like, "Right, thank you."
You wouldn't be rolling that in physical dice, would you, Carl?
I was there.
One possession, Carl.
Fine.
So was
Evil
that a
evolution,
15?
forget mine.
Yeah.
I was just rebelling against you.
So, okay. Deslin, Malachi, as you're wandering around, you. Firstly, Carl, Hobart, and Lorien, you notice that one of the crates near these kegs, near these barrels at the fore of the ship, appears to have quite a large amount of silver in it. It's gleaming most gleamingly through the broken crate.
Oh.
A lot of silver. And as you look closely, you see it's a mix of bullion, coin, and like candelabras and shit.
Oh.
Almost as if it's all just been chucked in to one.
I mean, is that weird to me though? Like, I mean,
secured
would
crate,
money.
or is this a crate that has sort of
What
been?
kind of ship is this?
It's a secured crate. It's just taken some damage, and this is a merchant ship. It wouldn't be unusual for them to be hauling silver,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
to be hauling various kinds of silver. In all your years of merchanting, you know that you categorize for efficiency. It's more like what you'd expect someone who is not necessarily following the rules to store things.
Right.
Perhaps someone who is just looking to move the silver quickly.
If it's asked for
Can I-
efficiency, couldn't they just ask to be a shit merchant?
It could also just be a ship merchant who just has a lot of silver
Yeah.
and doesn't care. Yeah, you've seen both smugglers and bad merchants store things this way, but it's not what you would expect, especially from your knowledge of the reputation of the captain of this ship, who is very shipshape and Bristol fashion.
That ship
Can
shape
I have
at
a
the
look?
moment.
Do I see the silver to be? So this is just like a mix of different things,
Yeah,
right?
it's all sorts. Roll me an investigation in roll 20, please. Carl.
Should've
Yeah,
opened person.
it's shiny stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's a big box of shiny stuff.
And take out an ingot of some description.
Okay. Use. Just trying to think with Lorien. Yes. Can you do me a history check?
I can go through a history check. Probably won't be a very good history check. History.
No, don't hiss at him.
That is a natural 3 for a total of 1.
Nice.
It's shiny. Shiny, heavy thing.
Cool. I pick up a sizable but discreet piece of shiny. And then sort of Hobart square in the eyes. Just go, shh.
Silver's trolling.
Okay.
Um,
I'll make note of it.
Any other like crewmen were missing, or any other people who should be on the ship?
well, Malachi, with your very good perception check, it says you guys kind of walk to the north of these crates and then do your loop round, and it says you get to about here, while the other two are still, playing with the shiny metal. You realize that the one of these barrels, the top one, is leaking. and what you initially take to be wine, as you walk past and you get a sniff, you realise is in fact blood mixed
Oh.
with wine.
Fucking plan there. There's stowaway. You don't stow away in liquid. Okay. I'll be like, heads up, something with this bell. Can you pry it
Something?
open, big man?
Lumbering over. I pull out the black steel dagger that I retrieved off of Mr. Shaw, and
And I'll
jam
back up
it in
like
the side of the wine and lid and try and prise the top off.
Okay. Yeah. So you get the top off. You get the dagger, and you pull the lid of this barrel off, and as you do, a fair amount of liquid splashes out, a mix of blood and red wine. And inside, as with your dark vision and Carl, as you bring your light up, you see the smushed form of Hasim Garble, the gnome that you had seen on the upper deck and had seen at dinner yesterday, crammed in there.
What, his body?
Uh,
Oh,
Judged by how he's shoved in, he's probably not alive. You can check.
oh,
Wait, wasn't he up on deck?
he was.
He was last you saw him during the storm. For some-
So-
So somebody murdered and stuffed him in here, not that there's a doppelganger. Shit.
I mean, technically there was an additional Hasim Garble.
Yeah, technically
I
there
can
was,
do,
yeah.
but the original gnomish Hasim Garble, he's here
Yeah, sure.
in the crate.
So last time we saw him was
He was up on deck. He was stood to your right, and
during the storm.
you'd previously seen him with Melody, but the two were now stood apart, and then he disappeared during the storm.
During the storm? Okay. That's a weird time to murder someone. I mean, I guess there's advantages to it, but come all the way down here and stuff them in a thing.
Oh. Who, is that so? Is he? Has he got his stuff on him, like his clothes? I'm guessing.
He seems to be fully dressed.
I would like to check the pockets.
Okay,
and
can
things like that.
get an investigation. Hopefully better than a 5.
Yeah. Where's the investigation?
22.
That was a little bit better. A little bit better.
Okay, you kind of drag the body out. This is quite high up, and you being a halfling, as it flops to the floor with a squelchy sound, you immediately see that his throat has been slit.
Gnomes in barrels, man.
Gnomes in barrels.
And
God,
as you search
I just realized.
his jacket, you just find there's a little pouch of gold, about 20 gold in it.
Oh,
And a piece of paper that has the name of the ship that you're on, the Bright Spot, and the time at which it departed from Haven.
okay. That looks like a potential ticket, right?
It's more sort of a reminder kind of thing, like a
Uh-huh.
memo. As you continue to search him, though, you actually find sewed into his undershirt a small folder, a little leather tan folder. And inside you find some documents written in what immediately looks like a cipher to you. It's not a language that you recognize. As
Does
well
it-
as...
Okay.
Oh, sorry, again.
Does it look like a? I guess does it look like a cipher or does it look like a language?
It looks very much like a
Um,
cipher. There's lots of dashes and symbols rather
Right.
than...
Okay. Okay. So it doesn't look like a script I would know or anything like that.
Yeah,
And
and
you didn't recognize. So.
you can tell from the pacing and the spacing of the writing that this looks like something that someone has not written fluidly. It's almost been written a few symbols at a time. And you're familiar that some noble houses that are particularly prominent in the merchant trades will have their own cipher and their own cant of communication. You also find a sovereign that could be inserted into a ring that you know to be, well, you don't know which one, but it looks a lot like one of the diplomatic seals of one of the prominent houses of the Reichstag, which is the parliament that acts as a balance to the empire. And finally, in his mouth, as like wine and blood kind of bleh out as he hits the floor, a very small vial of very fragile glass kind of floats out. And it appears to have shattered.
Can I?
That's probably fine.
Is a
Do a
small
peek over
vial?
my
You say?
Yeah, I forget the name for them, but very, very small, and it's a sealed glass unit.
But it's shattered, so it's like opened.
Yes, yeah, it's been broken.
Uh,
But the glass is so thin that it wouldn't take much force to break it.
yeah. Do I see any any residue like color on the inside of any of it? Or like it would inform me what the color of anything that was in it, or
Everything is this kind of
Winey
burgundy blood wine color. What you can, without carrying out a medicine check, is that you know that it's common for people to sometimes carry poison in such a way, but there is no like purpling around the lips or anything that you've seen before with poison. It's probably more so the throat slit that was the main
Those are
cause of
normally
it.
lethal.
Interesting.
Like, it
This
could be the
was
throat slit,
a-
could be poison, could be drowning in his own blood and wine. It's either way, it's a party.
Well, the throat slit would definitely do it.
Dream.
It's
to
definitely
drink
up
the
there.
wine, you coward.
Maybe they slit his throat to try and get whatever he'd swallowed.
Does it
Possible.
look like? Well, if they tried to reach in and grab whatever it was, then the wound would be
Neck
wider
just
than just
hanging.
the blade.
It's a gnome.
How
Yeah,
how wide is the wound?
Unless it was
it's
also a gnome with tiny
Just
gnome
a
hands.
clean
cut.
slice.
Just a cut. Okay.
Not
Tiny
a
doesn't
So
petite
it's
mean
slice.
not, it's not been so it's not been tampered, but it's just been cut, basically.
Yeah, just like it's been cut. You found the gold in his like outer jacket, but then in the inner jacket, sewed into his undershirt, you found the encrypted documents and the symbol of the Reichstag house.
Is it poison? Can I tell what it is? The liquid.
Everything is just this purple and burgundy wine color.
Wine mixed with blood.
Yeah. As you're kind of just staring down, a sailor just walks up behind and kind of pops his head over to see what you're doing. And it just goes, okay then. Turns his
Hey,
walk-
we
Yes.
found the murder victim.
We are
Carries on,
taking
yeah.
full
We-
account of all of the passengers.
What is your name, sailor? you send a message to the captain?
I'm just going to see Lieutenant Scarp about something not related
Yeah,
to this.
Well, can you tell maybe the captain
Send
about
him
this? We
down.
have found a body.
I will definitely ask him to come and have a look at what you may or may not be doing, because I didn't fully see it, did I, gentlemen? I'll see you later then, bye.
Yes,
Tell him,
please.
Tell him 1 alive, 6 dead.
I don't know what that means. He's just
Fine.
hurrying.
I'm gonna come with
We'll
him.
come with you.
He picks up speed as he hears
I dash in front of him.
hears Lauren.
Horns scraping on the lobe.
We could just calmly walk up behind them. It's not gonna matter.
I know, but this is much more fun.
No, alright, fair enough.
You, hot on his heels, you approach Lieutenant Scarp, who, seeing the look on the sailor's face and then seeing you behind him, gets a kind of gets a kind of right, yes, that makes sense. He goes, thank you, Gummy. That's not what he sounds like. What does he sound like? He's got a West Country accent.
No clue.
Thank you there, Gummy. I'll handle this. I hear that you've been exploring the lower decks, gentlemen.
Taking a full account of passengers and crew.
We
Take my job very seriously. We'll be checking every inch of this ship.
There
Speaking of which,
was-
7 dead so far. Only 1 alive.
As Gunny is walking away, I'm sort of just staring at him as I'm having this conversation with Lieutenant Scarp, and I will cast Thaumaturgy so that Gunny hears ominous whispers. Just like,
Okay. You see Gunny rush off.
in Infernal.
Looking very uncomfortable. He disappears below decks.
Yes. Do you remember the gnome? I believe his name was Mr. Garble.
The normalish gnome, not the.
Oh, the one that
Infernal
wasn't
ones.
the four.
Oh, they're all dead.
Not the
by
garden
unique.
gnomes, no.
Yes, I remember. Garble, yes.
Well, we have
He's
found a
dead.
body.
Oh, that's a shame.
But-
I
Well, come on,
Interesting
let's
though.
see
Interestingly,
the
I've
William
never
show,
seen, I've never seen a storm cut a man's throat.
And stuff him in a barrel.
Yes, that.
well, I have seen a storm cut a man's throat before, and the proverbial
And then
shard
steal
of
a
wood
barrel
through.
of wine.
But then stuffing in a barrel is not.
Low
No, that's
chances.
quite novel. That is.
Quite a
I,
low probability of that happening.
I've
That's
believe.
all
I've
still
not heard
about
of it.
Would you like to come have a look, or would you like our report on?
I
Or do
I-
you do
I
you
take
want
it
us
you
to just-
suspect
Dead
foul play
bodies.
then.
I think so.
In the lower deck of the
I'd
ship,
reckon.
where passengers are not supposed to be going.
So as note, he was alive during the storm. Somebody killed him during the storm and stuffed him in a barrel. There was
That-
also gold found on his person, so it wasn't after.
Desmond, you're quite quiet. You sat a bit further away from the mic than usual.
Damn it. Hello? Hi.
Oh,
How
that's
are
slightly
you?
better.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That.
Did you hear any of what I just said?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
It was just a bit quiet.
Okay. Good.
That complicates things slightly. Join me on the quarter deck there, gentlemen. And he kind of brings you up to where, Captain Sheldon is now in his cabin. Brings you up to where
What up for your thoughts?
no one else is kind of allowed. So it's just you four.
have we seen anything of Halethria Ashbreath?
You have not.
She went off with the captain into his cabin.
Yes.
Right?
You haven't seen her at all during the storm or anything.
Check the cabin, yeah.
There is a guard stationed outside the captain's cabin.
Is the captain okay?
He is worse for wear. He took quite a knock, and this is where the additional complications come in, that I would be surprised if he were to make it through another 8 hours.
That sounds quite dramatic. Can I ask a question?
You, of
Did we
course,
ever get?
can.
Did Malachi ever get relatively close to that door?
Oh, you're asking DM question. You of course can. If you guys will have tried to gained entrance, then you would have got about 5 foot of guard away from the door.
That's fine. If I can get close to the door, can I try to like listen in and hear if there's anyone else in that?
Okay. And in fact,
Doesn't have to be like a
Comfortably
deal.
close to the guard and just listen.
Good. Well, he's
you can't
distracting
stop
the
me from
guard.
listening. You don't own the air.
Smelling the air.
I'm not
Can't
going
guard
in.
sound guard. How does it feel to be useless guard?
Don't get mad at me. I'm not going in.
You don't hear anything, and in fact, where you're stood now, as you're going to be led up onto the quarterdeck, is directly above the captain's cabin, and you again can't hear anything coming from below.
If the cabin, does it have a bunch of like windows or like an basically
on the aft of the ship, on the back of the ship, there are windows from the captain's cabin that look out onto the.
I've basically got this spell that lets me turn into a gaseous form and turn into a smoke, essentially, to go between gaps and things.
We're on a ship. Do you think you'll blow away?
There is no wind at the moment. You are becalmed.
It doesn't. It just gives me flying speed.
But I would.
It's like
definitely make it so that
the
if it
Harry
was stormy, you would
Potter.
get blown away.
It's like the Harry Potter. The
Turning into a Dementor.
yeah.
gaseous form.
Oh no, the God. Voldemort's people. called?
When like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they
I
turn
mean,
into a shadow.
the
they're
Death
like-
Eaters.
Yeah, Death Eaters, yeah, when they turn into.
they
Yeah.
don't really just separate.
It's-
They
it's
just
like
turn
that.
into smoke.
I mean, you could, if you really wanna. Scarp might find it a bit strange if you just turn into gas.
Yeah, I don't want to do it like in the open.
You're shy
We
about
can
your
just
gas.
find out
What?
later. I'd
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
save the spell.
Yeah.
Especially a 3rd level spell.
On a session that Michael's already said might be a TPK. Don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
So Scarp continues. I can't currently afford to spare a single able sailor, even if one of them is going around murdering gnomes. We're in a very serious position at the moment, gentlemen. I am worried.
Survival is paramount. Once we have survived, then we can seek out justice.
I just want to point out there is plenty guests on this ship, and it wouldn't necessarily be a sailor that I would be
Well,
Looking at the list of
anyone,
surprises,
suspecting.
sailors are
anyone-
probably by average the better option.
You look at the contract us to solve.
I frankly, gentlemen, I'm asking you not to solve it for the time being.
Okay.
We
Alright.
have very short and regimented justice in the naval services, and none of them can be applied when even the loss of one man might mean the entire ship. What I will say is that having experienced that storm myself, anyone who was able to get below decks was either a prodigious acrobat or a very experienced sailor. So I ask that you look out for yourselves and the other passengers, and if you have any suspicions, send them my way. But for now, if you'll excuse the terribly timed pun given the tragedy, try not to rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat, baby.
Yes.
Oh, that
I
is
was hoping someone would just say
unsettling.
baby, but close enough.
Most
Alright, well,
unsettling.
fair enough.
Don't
But-
rock the boat. Okay.
For now, well, I would ask one more thing of you, but it's entirely optional. I have no way to compel or even legitimately encourage you. You have, I suppose, a choice. You may go and get some rest, or you may help get the ship back into shape through the night, and whichever it is you prefer to do, I have no, as I say, recourse to compel you. But you are strong and witful, but equally
Oh, I'm
you
not
may
that strong.
prefer to get
Well,
a
that
good,
witful.
full, long rest.
I will just take an hour to reconstitute myself, and I shall aid you through the night, Lieutenant Scar.
Likewise, I have a feeling the crying dead won't let me sleep tonight.
Okay, so you've both got some form of trance type thing.
No, I'm just going to have
What?
a short rest.
Okay, you're just having short rest.
And I'll help out as much as I can.
So that's
I don't
two. Okay,
And
two.
I'll have a. I mean, I could just have a short rest for now.
Okay.
I could. Though.
I've expended a hit dice.
Oh yeah, I could because.
No, I took damage. Okay.
Yeah, some of you took a little bit of damage. Nice.
I healed it all back.
So
the only
I'll
other thing
have
I've actually
wisdom level
used
rounded
has
up.
been 2 points of lay on hands.
I didn't really use shit
Rounded up.
aside from
So
metal
you're saying
stuff.
is I need to cause more damage to you?
Basic.
Oh, 5. So that's 2.5 rounded up is 3. So I can. 3, yeah, so I can actually get my. In a short rest, I can get all my spell slots back and just hit die. I'm basically back to
Oops.
Nice.
full.
I should probably close this. Okay, cool. So
So how can we help?
I'll be honest, I wasn't entirely banking on you guys taking the long rest.
We can do that. We'll
Wait,
just
well-
skip forward.
No.
Why would not next to the
I have
captain?
I have stuff fully prepared
Yeah.
for it. So
What would not say next to the captain? And if we are resting, I want to speak to the party. Just oh fuck, that's not that good. Oh well. Just a thought. I'm quite unsettled that there is a murderer on the loose. And I understand the captain's thinking, but say if we simply knew who it was, but didn't tell anybody else, we could just make sure that they don't kill us or somebody important. And then later on we can,
continue our investigation and then just make sure we
yeah,
keep
but
the
you know, we don't have to
don't rock the boat.
don't rock the boat, right? But we could maybe find out who it was,
I'm
so
sure
that
if we,
we
walk
sleep
with a
easier.
steady pace and we don't shift our weight about too much, we can
Yeah,
not
just keep
rock
an eye
the
out.
boat.
And then once we're on the shore, we can put this person to justice, I guess,
Death.
or
I mean, or
yeah,
justice.
whatever is
Just
appropriate.
justice.
Whatever is
The
appropriate.
hand is heavy enough. It's the same thing. How long is the trip, Michael?
um
To Alexstad?
We have no sails, so a lot
Yeah,
longer than it would be.
Yeah. That's a question for Lieutenant Scarp, and he would say, frankly, I have no idea. We are currently fully becalmed. I'm signaling the other ships as we speak.
Can
We're
we
trying to
see
coordinate.
anything from what other ships? Are there any other ships that have made it through?
Yes,
that we can see
there
the
are.
lights of
There
in the
are a
darkness?
number of ships. You can see quite a few, actually. It's hard to tell in the dark, even with dark vision, because they're so far away. But you can see the twinkling lights every so often. String lights seem to go between masts of different colours, which mean nothing to you, but you assume means something to someone. Occasionally a rocket will go up, a green one or a red one. There is definitely communication going on between the ships that have survived. But it's slow and it's confusing. You have no idea who is signaling who and what they're saying, but Scarp and a couple of other sailors are constantly looking out for these signals, and occasionally Scarp will shout some instruction and someone will go and change the colour of the lights that are in the mast of your ship, but there is zero wind. And Scarp informs you that we were meant to be 20 minutes away from Palekstad, but even from the top of the foremast, we can't see land anywhere. So suffice to say, we are more than 20 minutes away from Palekstad. That is all that I can say for certain.
Well, how can I help?
And he gives a variety
Much
of
going to
tasks that you can help out with. Lorient, he sends you to help the bosun and the carpenter with moving of heavy things.
I'm glad that was my assigned task.
Which, if I can just get a straight strength or athletics.
19 plus 7 is 20.
That'll do. Okay. Malachi, he turns to the two of you and he says, "I see from this that that Melody, Miss what was her name? I've forgotten her name. Grindle is still alive, and I can confirm both that Mrs. Ashbreath and that elf fellow Windshear are also alive. I could do with them not being in a state of extreme agitation for a while. So if one of you could see to them and the other of you could, well, all those bodies could do with moving to one place, ideally. We have a lot of rats on this ship, and I don't really want to be responsible for explaining to any loved ones why their loved ones are missing fingers.
So
We could
not
attend to both
overboard.
tasks, but
Who did he say needs not agitating?
Specifically Melody Grindle.
Melody.
So whoever, you could by all means do it together and just go with whoever does best, but if I can get a charisma check or persuasion,
Yeah, I think I'll go for the
for
Melody
Melody.
thing.
and I don't really need a check for gathering the bodies unless it's Carl, in which case I'll need a strength check.
Yeah, no, I'll be doing the other stuff.
Okay, give me a persuasion or charisma straight.
can I assist him on that? I want to do both tasks together because I don't want him to
Okay,
be alone.
yep. So even without assistance, you've succeeded.
What
So
is your
the two of you are able between you to calm Melody down sufficiently. And
Why don't you roll again just in case he quit? You get
yeah,
ready.
go on, Carl.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
It's not the one.
And Scarp
so the
has
4 first.
and Scarp instructs that Melody and Windshear are to be taken to the officers' quarters at the front of the ship, which is it's quieter, it's more contained. So you escort them both. Melody is noticeably uncomfortable when she comes up on deck, and she kind of clutches to you, Malachi. But you're able to talk her through kind of just what's going on and keep her calm. Thurbal seems to be even more out of it than usual. He's just staggering around on deck. You give him a quick check over and he seems as normal as Thurbal Winshire can
As he
apparently be. Then you put him in a room, and as you come out you see that a guard has been posted by Lieutenant Sharp. Just there, and he kind of gives you a nod. And you rejoin Scarp, and by now the sun is starting to rise. And Lorient joins you, I assume stretching or aching slightly from his labours of moving heavy shit. As you're collecting all the bodies, though, you are missing one gnome.
Oh well.
Which one?
You look around and you cannot find it.
Which one? There was obviously the one that we found first with the teeth.
Yeah, the one
There was
that
the other one hiding.
was crushed by Lorient.
Right.
Shitty pants gnome.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. So he
The
was definitely
pant
alive, then.
shitter has disappeared.
He's playing dead.
Told you it was faking it.
Yep.
So all the corpses are.
Am I there
gathered.
or am I with Melody?
At this point, you're back with Lieutenant Scarp as the sun starts to rise. I'm just going to move corpses, and they are all going into your old room because it is the biggest contained room.
Yeah, and there's already a corpse.
Oh, lovely. We'll
It
sleep with them.
saves you
One less to move.
some work.
The more the merrier.
Keeps it cozy.
Keeps it warm or cold.
Okay. And as the sun comes up, you hear the
Very
bosun's
quickly, Mike.
call. Yes.
On our short rest, as I spent some time with the Black Steel Dagger, is there anything interesting that I learn about it over the course of a short rest?
You learn it's very, very sharp and very, very well made. It's cold to the touch, but from a just physical inspection, that's about all that you can say. Except for one thing that does draw your attention, is that the blade is squared. As if to puncture
At the
rather than cut.
end, or
Yes, sorry, so it's the...
or is like the end, like the profile of it is like just a pointy square, like a really, really long pyramid.
Yeah, it's a pyramid going into a square, like a really long pyramid, but also the edges of each of the four edges are still very sharp. But there is no honed blade like you'd get on a standard dagger. It very much looks like an assassin's kind of one stab in your... It's a very fancy shank.
You get a Missouri cord.
Is that what that is? I don't know, in all honesty. Kind
But
of like a
not
bodkin
a
arrowhead.
magic-y blade.
Are you using detect magic?
No, I was just sort of chilling out during my short rest, attempting to attune to it if there is an attunable nature to it.
Nothing attunes.
Okay.
In that short rest, because I got the note that says "Whisper in Palakstad," right?
Yes.
The empty one. And then I also got the ciphered note from the gnome, right?
Yep.
Can I sit with that note? Just look over it, like spend my short rest, just kind of like, just looking for patterns, like trying to like
Okay.
analyze it in any way, and like see if I can even begin to comprehend whether it's doable to decipher it over time, or
Okay.
if I'm even capable of that.
As you're looking through it, you do see one or two familiar patterns that seem to repeat every so often. But it's soon apparent that this is quite advanced work. This is something more than, especially without the key, you would personally ever be able to.
It would take a while.
decipher. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not worth your time, effectively.
Yeah. Okay.
And as the sun's coming up, Scarp orders the bosun to call all hands, and everyone gathers. And you hear the sound of activity downstairs, and the smell of food wafts up. The mood lightens slightly as the sunlight comes up, and it's quite warm even this early on in the day, as the sun kind of brushes against the back of your necks. And Scarp approaches the quarterdeck, and he gives some announcements. Firstly, he tells you that the captain has died in the night, which you hear, not sobbing, but you hear genuine disappointment and sadness from a lot of the men behind you. And gathered around. He then immediately swaps into business mode. And he gives you the update that the ship is becalmed and there is no wind. And he tells you what he told you before about how you're clearly not where you're meant to be. And he says that in total there are 17 survivors. So that's you, 3, the 3 other guests, him, and the rest deckhands. He's not counting the gnome that's disappeared. And then he gives the real bad news that there's no way to replace the masts. Even if we could repair them with so few hands, we have no way to do it. And that the ship is in fact taking on a fair amount of water, and there's no chance of repair. And there is 0 chance of going back to the portal, and no way to move forwards to what we hope would be the direction of Palagstad. And worst of all, there are only 3 days of food and water left on the ship. And as the mood properly drops, you immediately get the sense that he's not someone who's had to give this kind of speech before. He's just kind of reading off the bad points. You get the impression that the captain would have done a slightly better job. And as people start to grumble behind you, he immediately goes, but there is some, well, I hesitate to say good news, but I've been speaking with the other ships via semaphore and lights and all that stuff. And the flagstaff, he kind of gestures over his shoulder and points, and you see quite a large ship, bigger than yours. It's a proper frigate, I guess. Maybe a ship of the line. Seems to have sails intact. It's a nice looking ship. Has agreed to, as the only nearby ship, take us on. And so I'll be ordering in the coming hours an abandonment of the Bright Spot. We'll go over by boat. The crew will carry the supplies that we need, and then the passengers, he kind of looks at you, will have assisted us in gathering the wounded and the dead. Those who are in the service will be given a full burial at sea before we go. The others will be, well, I will deal with that as needed. But we have breakfast, and then by 3 bells I expect us all to be safely aboard the Flagstaff, who are fully operational, we hope, once the wind comes back. If you need me at all, I will be here. Thank you. And people kind of just disperse around.
I raise my hand, like try and get this.
Yes, Master Pending
Just
Shade.
wondering, how long will the frigate take to get to us?
The frigate. I can't remember if it is a frigate. Or I think it's a ship line.
I forgot the name of it.
The
That's why.
Flagstaff won't be coming to us. We will be going to the Flagstaff. It is just
Oh.
as becalmed as we are. We will be rowing over. You are, of course, welcome to volunteer to row.
Don't
if
think
you-
I'm a good rower.
I had
Fails.
assumed. But
Mr. Tired here, do the roll in about that.
Does
Uh,
the Flagstaff have sails?
it does. It has a full complement of both cold weather and temperate weather sails, and most of its stores appear to be in good order. We will still be waiting on the wind, though. I have to be perfectly frank, especially to those of you who are not familiar with the ways of the sea. We could be waiting for, I hope, a few hours. It could be days.
Okay.
But the point is, we will not be at the bottom of the ocean while waiting.
Yes.
Yeah,
But,
it's the ideal, but
If and when we do go, how long do you expect it would take to row the boat to there?
We have 2 boats that have survived. The Flagstaff, I am told, has 3. So between those, we should be able to get all hands over and all vital equipment in no more than 2 hours.
Oh, that's not too. Okay.
But
does
first,
the bell mean an hour?
no, it's I think it's a watch system, which lasts, is it 4 hours? I don't know.
4 hours each.
Yeah, except for the dog watch, which is shorter, but I don't remember exactly. I did read it. But basically, it's going to be breakfast, burying the dead, then about 2 hours worth of moving back and forth. And so you go down, you have a nutritious breakfast. You see a sailor coming in and out of the galley, swearing quite profusely, saying he'll be asked if some stuck-up sailor boy is going to get his best pulled pork, or whatever it is that they eat on ships. And so he's kind of just like
Hard tack.
serving out all the best food to the Bright Spot crew, with some
We see-
editing.
Have we seen the lady who went with the captain yet?
You have not.
Can I ask Scop about it?
Yeah. Mrs. Ashbreath. She is. She was quite fond of the captain. They went back many, many years, and I believe she is in what we might call mourning at present. She is quite distraught.
Well, morning still means alive.
Last I saw her, she was very much alive. She is not a woman who is easy to miss or mistake.
That's it. I'll go back.
So you have your breakfast, and then everyone's brought up on deck. Many of the sailors have done their best effort to formal up their clothes a little bit. Windshear and Melody are out on deck, and the sailors are one by one sewn up in their hammocks and placed on a board over the edge of the ship, and the board is tilted, and they kind of go down, weighted, and they move the board every time, the ship being becalmed, so that people aren't just piling up but there's a lot of bodies going over the edge.
Bloop, bloop.
It takes quite a while. There's a small service for each of them. A musket is fired, and then bloop, as Carl says. And then as soon as the last one is done, that kind of the bosun's the whistle. I can't do it. Well, he's clearly just moving his hand off the little hole. Goes, and the boats are just down in the water incredibly rapidly. And it's at this point that you get very much a sense that everyone wants to be off this ship. Unfortunately,
is everyone gathered on deck, or
sorry.
is everyone gathered on deck? Have they sort of gathered people to start being?
Yes, yeah. Everyone, you do see Mrs. Ashbreath come out when the captain is sent over. But then she soon returns to the quiet of the cabin.
Okay. Well, at the point that she is out,
Yeah.
I try and get myself into a position where I'm roughly in the middle of everyone. I take a big, deep breath in, and I invoke my divine sense.
Ooh.
So I am opening my awareness to detect the forces of evil.
Any zombies?
Any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of me.
60 feet, and that's in all directions.
In all directions.
Celestial fiend
that is
or...
not behind total cover.
Okay. Celestial fiend or undead.
Yes.
Okay. You get nothing.
Okay. Get. You lose.
So you wait your turn. Effectively, you help load things onto the boats. They're rowed across. 3 boats come from the Flagstaff. You see that the people rowing it are smartly dressed compared to your civilian shipmates. Everyone is in uniform in the Flagstaff boats, and eventually you are shuttled across to the Flagstaff.
Which is a city in Arizona, so I can only think of the Arizonan flag. When you say things like that.
Which I think
I asked the questions on the way there. I'm like, what is this ship? Is this some
What is
imperial
this
or is this a merchant company or?
the sailors of who are rowing the boat don't seem particularly keen on answering your questions. But as you approach the ship and you come aboard, you are... Lieutenant Scarp will come over with you, actually, and he'll answer your questions, as you're like the last party to leave. He'll explain to you that it's a military vessel, the Flagstaff, one of the... I don't remember how many they had exactly, but it's predominantly a military expedition, this. So imperial, I suppose, would be the proper answer. You won't see the same mercantile flavour that we had on the Bright Spot.
Oh, and is the imperial? Do you know what they're trying to accomplish? Obviously, I know that this portal just opened up, so naturally they are going to assert their control. But well, you see, because certain families might have some claims to press on such places, such as Palekstad, for example.
Well, I imagine lots of people have claims of one form or another. I think that's part of what the Imperium, or meant to be doing, is ensuring that those claims are legitimate and follow the rule of
Right.
law and whatever else it is that they do. But I would be surprised if even the captain of the Flagstaff knows beyond his orders to be there.
That's
It's
true. That's true.
above our pay
Yes.
grade as
Yes.
naval officers, whether you're civilian or military. But I would just advise gentlemen that to remember that this is a military ship. And their approach to things like corpses, throats being slit, may be different to mine.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I advise, make yourself useful, but don't get in the way. And yeah,
I'm
any other
still worried
questions
about that.
for any other questions for
Nah.
the lieutenant before you rock up? And you do indeed get up onto the Flagstaff. You're greeted by a Lieutenant Harper, a quite good-looking blonde man, about 25 years old. Concern on his face, but a smooth aura of confidence and competence. You overhear him having a chat with have I forgotten his name? He's right here, Scarp.
Yeah.
And you catch a few bits that of the 270 crew of the Flagstaff, only 70 survived, although the ship is in pretty good condition. So with your 17, that makes the total 87. That there is communication with the fleet, and that Commodore Pinkling, who is in charge of the whole thing, is aboard the Endeavour, which he kind of gestures off, and you see a very large ship, quite a distance away, and that the orders that you've been given, effectively, is to hold until the wind picks up. And he makes a snide comment about that being a redundant statement, and then realizes that you're following him and Scarp, and then immediately becomes substantially more formal and starts talking in naval jargon about the heading at 142 degrees and whatever. And Scarp just says, for your edification, that means we'll be going northeast. And seeing that Scarp is talking to you as in a positive thing, he introduces himself. He goes, "Oh, how do you do? I'm Lieutenant Harper. You are..."
Extend my hand. Captain Lorient Cooper of the Knight of the Winter Order, retired.
What manner of vessel is the Knight of the Winter Order, Captain?
It's not a naval vessel. It's a organization on land. My rank was captain,
He seems to...
but not a naval captain. Different things. Just
The land cap.
land.
captain. I am proficient with land vehicles.
Scout goes, I can confirm he has indicated that he is proficient with land vehicles before.
I can confirm at least he said that he had.
And then Scarp does the remaining introductions. This is Master Pending Shade, a merchant
Nice to
of
meet you. Pleasure.
some renown. And of course, here we have Malachi, Mr. Malachi. I don't think he has a last name.
Now that the players come up. Sure.
Who is all three of them have been very helpful to me during the storm, and I'm sure it could find themselves of some use to the Flagstaff and to Captain Aubrey, who I don't see on deck. I wish to pay my respects, of course, and Harper is, oh no, the captain is currently engaged. But, looking at the three of you, I'd say you could do with some rest. You're no use to me. All, yes. There's no gentle way to say this, but you are currently being pressed into service, as everyone is, even the more self-actualized guests who you have had aboard, who may feel that they are not capable or suited or interested in serving. Everyone who wants to stay afloat will find some way to be useful. As long as we're clear on that, then as soon as you get to land, you may of course return to your more pleasant civilian lives.
We'd happily volunteer. Our goal is to get the shot.
Oh, volunteer. If I'm being pressed into service, I expect to be compensated for my time.
You will get, 2 servings of good grog. You'll get ship's biscuits. You will get dried pork. And you will get to stay relatively dry. These are the compensation that you can look forward to.
After the two servings of good grog, he was like, I mean, that's fine, yes.
And
I accept your
Hobart
terms.
Hobart will lean in a little bit. How much would you say would it perhaps cost for an extra special treatment upgrade of this voyage?
Well, we have planks that are 6 feet, and we have planks that are 8 feet, so whichever you prefer to walk is what it would cost you.
Oh. No, you don't take gold, do you?
This time we are not able to accept gold. We accept sweat and blood. You can pick which you prefer to
Understood.
give.
I may be able to sweat out a few things out for myself. I'm not sure what that would be, but we will see.
Excellent.
Lloyd
Well,
rolls himself up to his full height and sort of turns to Lieutenant Scarf. And Lieutenant Scarf, will you be apprising Lieutenant Harper here of the situation that we found ourselves in on the bright spot? Our
I
friend in the barrel.
will indeed be referring to the barrel with Lieutenant Scarp and the captain. And in fact, I should probably speak to you about that now, Harper. Very well, if you think it's important. As for you three, as I say, you are simply not in the right condition at the moment and therefore useless to me. So I expect each of you to go below deck, find a hammock, and not come back up until, whatever the translation would be, 8 bells. And Scarp goes, that's 6 hours.
Why did you not just say 6 hours then?
Harper kind of looks you up and down, decides you're too big to slide. looks over at Hobart and
Hobart takes 2 steps
wouldn't
back.
and he just turns and walks rigidly. So, did you say something then, Deslin?
No, I was just telling him I wouldn't recommend slapping Hobart either.
Why is 8 bells 6 hours? How long's a bell? Is it like 45
I'm
minutes
making
or
this
what?
up as I go along. I can't remember. I will find a proper list at some point.
Scarp's like, I don't fucking know, I'm just the vice captain.
It's Imperial units.
Wow.
So you head below. You are watched basically the whole time.
Oh, I am also watching back, especially for members of the Bright Spot crew.
Yeah.
Since we got we're still on the bright spot, I want to have been just like fucking mean mugging every single one of them. Just as in every one of them that walks past, I'm just staring down and trying to look for any strange behavior.
And I will try and keep close somewhere.
Okay. So
Just
you
guarding the little one.
okay, cool. You as you're kind of glaring at everyone, Lorience, you don't get anything that immediately flags, ooh, this person is any more dodgy than the rest of them. You see Gunny a few times, and he very quickly finds a reason to not be near you.
Every time I see him, I cast Thaumaturgy and just have the infernal whispers follow him.
The one time he's like just sat talking to some sailors from the Flagstaff, and then he sees you over one of their shoulders, and his eyes widen, and then you see him cover his hands and run down the gangway. And then the Flagstaff just gonna look around and look over their shoulders at you with a confused look on their face. But yeah, are we taking our instructed nap?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Good.
time.
Is this the next day, or is this just like
This
after
is
we've?
this is technically the second day, but you only took a short rest while still aboard the Bright Spot. So this would be your first long rest.
Okay.
Tell you what, it's been like 26 years since I've had an instructed nap.
Just
So,
relinquish
long rest, huh?
relinquish the responsibility and control. Embrace it.
Not
Yeah.
entirely comfortable, all of us going to sleep at once, so might I suggest that we take watches?
Am I right with that?
Agreeable.
Okay. I'll keep it short and simple. The watches are spent with just people rushing around you, doing things, stowing stuff. You're able to get good night's sleep each, so take a long rest. Nothing eventful happens. The ship is becalmed, so there is no rocking, there is no swaying, there is just the occasional, nice few hours of sleep, then being woken up by something loud, and then going back to sleep, then doing your watch. You do, as you wake up, you do hear the sound of yelling coming from above deck, but it's very much the sound of someone getting chewed out. And you
Not in the second.
not in a sexy way now. You head above deck. Let me make sure I'm in night mode for you, Carl. And you see on the quarterdeck a gentleman with a very large white beard and a very big hat, who you take to be a captain of some sort, just screaming.
The bigger the beard and the bigger the hat, the bigger the captain.
The more captainy.
The more captain in the captain.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I could be a
shouting
sailor.
at this poor purser. I don't really know who it would be. Someone else in a uniform, but a much lower rank. And he's just yelling at him, saying, "What do you mean we don't have any more lamp oil? We have 6 months worth of fucking lamp oil." And he just goes red. And he just breathes in a big breath. Goes, "Go find the fucking lamp oil." It just echoes across the still water. And the person goes, is that, I've looked everywhere, Captain. There's not a single drop. I don't give two tiny ant shits about what you've done. Go and find my lamp oil, please. And the guy just kind of scuttles off, looking very worried. And you see him go below deck. And at the front of the ship is you see Lieutenant Harper. He's doing something, and it's dark now. The sun is very much setting. And you see off in the distance the ships being more visible with their lights and their signalling. And Scarp sees you on deck, and he approaches. And have I got Scarp? I should have Scarp. There you go. And he greets you. Oh, how does your rest? It's well, you look certainly quite a bit more awake than you were before. That's saying something that you, not to say that you were sleepy, but you look well, is what I mean. It's good to see you on deck, and
Thank you very much.
I would advise
bow.
you, you in particular, of course, Mr. Penningshade, are particularly dapper. I have some good news.
He's now has changed his clothing to a purple yellow fine shirt.
And it's very fetching.
In fact, no. In fact, he'll be wearing a casual beige shirt.
I have good news
He's going to be working. So,
and bad news for you, yes. I'm afraid. One is that I've discussed our issue with the captain and Lieutenant Harper, and the good news is that the captain has invited you to his table for the evening to join him for dinner.
Oh.
Which is both a privilege and an unrefusable honor on a military ship.
Of course.
The bad news is he's not in a good mood. You see, as you may have heard, we've lost, well, the flagstaff has lost its lamp oil, which means there's not really a way for it to signal the other ships at night, which means that it won't look good for him, I will say, which means that it's not going to be good for any of his men, and for the time being, we are his men. So try and be on your best behavior and don't antagonize the angry big man with the beard. That would be my professional naval advice.
Advice serves quite well in other places as well.
What's happened with the lamp oil?
Well, the oil that they use to signal, the lamps that they use to signal are run on oil, except for the main spot lamp at the front. That's some kind of magic crystal-y thing on these military ships, but that apparently also is not working.
I am able to produce light, if that helps, but I don't know if that's enough.
It has to be very, very, very bright. You see, there's the 5 ships over there, the other military ships. That's the well, each of them has a number. So we're the Flagstaff, we're number 8, and then the Endeavour, the flagship, that's number 1, and then there's the Smallwick, that's number 3. There's the Ario, that's number 4. And then there's the Dread, that's number 12. Those are all that are left. And it needs to reach all the way over there to those 2 little lights you can see there. That's the flagship.
Oh.
So
Yes, no.
yeah, it would have to be very, very bright. So I'm afraid you're more than welcome to have a look. I think I'll speak to the bosun. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't invite you to see if you can get it working, but for now we're.
If you can produce flames in there, I can brighten them.
It has to
cast thaumaturgy and make all of the sort of candles in the area just flare.
Well, we could certainly try it.
I could have a look at the magical light. Maybe I could figure something out. I am I have graduated at the University of I can't find it.
I don't know that
The
one.
Solar University. The
Aye.
Solare University.
If
I
it doesn't
can,
have a naval school, I won't be familiar with any
Yes, well,
of that
it's
book
very
learning. But
prestigious wizard
but-
school. You see.
well, oh, Gunny, come here. Can you take Mr. and Gunny walks up and he's like staring, trying not to make eye contact with Lorient. Can you take Mr.
As
Penningshay
I cast
here
Thaumaturgy
to the fore?
try not to get stupid.
And Gunny's like, and show him that lamp. See if he can have a tinker with it. He just kind of almost grabs Hobart and runs up down.
I turn
I don't know what's gone
Harper.
into
Would
Gunny.
you like me to accompany them?
Oh, I'm
What do you-
sure they'll be fine. There's actually someone I want you to meet. He's and as you hear the sound that you realise might have been thunder, but it's actually just Captain Aubrey's just been swearing for like the last 3 minutes. And you see an exasperated man kind of walking down, and he gets called over, and introductions are made. And
Am I walking away at this point?
you're going north to have a look.
I
where
cast
Harper is.
message as I walk away. I cast message on Malachite, and I just say, yeah, if you hear me scream, please come and save me.
going with-
You are a good bodyguard after all. Please, thank you.
I'll
Yeah.
just go with him.
Okay. Yeah, so you
As he
two
says
head.
that, I'm literally right behind him, just like looming over.
It's
you-
like, oh, where did you come from?
Walk backwards, like 12 feet.
Lorient, you are introduced to Dr. Falkirk, who gives you a very stately bow. Oh, a pleasure to meet you. Lorient Cooper, was it? That's quite an interesting name. A lovely name. But forgive me, I'm
Thank you. My
Scarp.
parents gave it to me.
and indeed they did an excellent job at that. Scarp, I have a slight question. I assume there's nothing we can do about this lamp oil, is there? I would ask Harper, but he seems to be distracted. Scarp's just going, yeah. When it's gone, it's gone. Everyone's just got the same accent now. Well, it's more a matter of maths that's bothering me, Scarp. You see, there are how many military vessels now? And Scott goes, well, including us, there's 12. No. Right, so there's 11 that aren't us. Yeah. Why can I only see 10? And so Scott turns around and gets his little eyeglass out. And can you do me in fact, can all of you do me a perception check? And I'll take a separate Arcana check off you, Carl, for that lamp.
Oh, good perception.
Perception.
And-
That's 2.
15 Arcana.
I roll in it. Place back up bone. 12.
Blub,
Um,
blub.
bloop.
Uzbekistan.
Let me just check that hasn't messed up the. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. So, let's deal with the Arcana check first. You get the impression, Carl, that this spotlight that seems to be able to be picked up and moved about and change direction. That it's powered by some variant of the light spell, but at a really high level. You feel confident that you could get it working, but that it would be relatively low powered and probably not suitable for signaling over those distances.
I'll basically say that it's quite a powerful piece of magical equipment right here. I am able to get it to work somewhat, but unfortunately it won't be good enough for the signaling. But I am happy to at least get it to shine a little bit
And
if it
Harper,
helps anybody.
Harper just says, "Well, I suppose that's better than nothing. Maybe it will put the captain to some peace for a short while. Make it so, Mr. Penningsworth.
Penningsworth.
Penningsworth, thank you. Yes, make it so, Mr. Penningsworth.
Shade.
Um,
Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna like sort of like I'll cast light as I like sort of look at it and open it and things like that, and then I'll
Yeah. And
sort
it kind of hums a little
insert
bit.
my hand with the ring and then just cast light on it and hopefully like imbue it with.
And the surround is very reflective. So you're able to get from like right in front of it as you're looking into it, it's bright. But as you kind of being quite happy with it, kind of shine it around and you shine it out, you see that it gives a fair distance. It's going out 10, 20, 30, 35, 40 feet in bright, light, concentrated light.
This is further than I can usually make this light appear. Honestly, it's
Harper has
definitely
lost
amplifying my
all
magic.
interest, but Gunny is listening to you intently.
Uh,
Seemingly very impressed with what you've done. So, where were we? Deslin. So Malachi and Hobart. If all of you hear this question by Dr. Falkirk about the number of ships, and you kind of count, and you see that, yeah, there's only 10 ships that are currently signaling.
plus hours. No.
Yeah.
I know.
And you hear Scarp say, well, I imagine that they've just got the same problem as us, no oil, and can't signal. And then from the top mast, you just hear deck, there's a signal coming through, and you see both Harper and Scarp break out their glasses and train them on the Endeavour, the big ship. And you hear Scarp just reading out the signals as they're coming in. And he goes, oh, well, Endeavour has acknowledged that we can't signal. That's good. That means that they won't forget that we're here. And they're signaling ship 8, Flagstaff, that's us. Understood location. Okay, they know where we are. And then they're signaling the Dread, asking them to repeat something. And you hear Harper at the front go, signal from Smallwick on the port side. And Scarp looks and says, oh, they're saying Dread, location unclear. And now Endeavour's, if you look just to the right of the ship, gentlemen, you should see a rocket going off in a second. Endeavour's instructed the Dread. But no rocket comes up. And you see Harper look up at the captain and then retrain his glass on the ships. And just repeats over as he's talking to you, Scarp. He just keeps relaying these messages, but you notice that a few sailors have approached the front of the ship and seem to be straining to see as well. And Dr. Falkirk kind of comes up. Well, see now that makes 9 now. See, 1, 2, counts along. Scarp
Why
is.
are they
Who's
disappearing?
missing now?
I can't tell who's, and I think that's the Ario. They're not Harper. What have you? Is there some military code I'm not? Harper, I have just as little insight, Captain. And you see him kind of quickly walk backwards to the captain's area. Scarp's kind of looking over his shoulder. Quite a few more people are up on deck now, and there's quite a bit of talking over. Someone in the mast is shouting out the signals. Scarp's relaying them to you. Falco says, and now, see, just as I have anticipated, there are now 8. And then you see some of the non-signaling ships just kind of scattered about a little bit. The lights on the decks and in the holds start to just blink out. And it's dark. The moon is now all but hidden behind a very thick cloud. And the Endeavour, you can still see the big ship with the tallest lights and signalling. Falkirk says
The
to
ones
Scar,
that are blinking out, are they sort of blinking out in
Like
a pattern? Is it like
just
In and out, or just-
disappearing.
Just like-
Sorry. Yeah,
disappearing.
just disappearing. Blip, blip, gone.
Well, what I mean is the ones that are blipping out, are they like blipping out one at a time in a row,
It's
or
it's quite
sporadic?
it's quite spaced. It's like one's blipping out over there, and then another's blipping out over there, but there's a bit of time between them. Falkirk asks Scarp what the Endeavour's saying now. It's just they're just signaling the dread over and over again. It's just dread, signal, dread, location unknown. Oh, we don't know. We've got the Smallwick now. It's to us, the Flagstaff. Aggressor, retreat, home. Aggressor, retreat, home. And then you hear
Which
Falkirk.
ship's the aggressor?
There isn't
Aggressor?
an aggressor.
That
it-
we
is it-
know of.
You see Falkirk excitedly say, "Look, see there, another one gone." And it's the one that you see Scarp like close his glass. He actually hands it over to you, Lorient. My eyes are fatigued. The signals are nonsense at this point. How many ships can you see, Mr. Cooper?
How
Can I
many
look as
ships
well and
can
count?
I see?
So through the eyeglass, you see about 10 what you make out to be distinct ships. The most obvious is the Endeavour. But even as you're kind of scanning and panning from left to right and counting, you realise the number you have is wrong. They're dropping off. And then you hear over the top Harper and the captain almost simultaneously shout, "Dear God," or some exclamations, just belting out.
Exclamation!
Yeah,
The dread.
Harper is shouting, "Dear God," and Captain Aubrey is like, "What the fuck?" Scarp grabs the glass back and he says, "Oh, it's the Endeavour." And actually, no, he doesn't grab the glass back because he's making his way now to the front of the ship. So he's still got the glass going. You can see the Endeavour.
I'm
it's-
looking at the Endeavour. I'm looking for the Endeavour.
It's repeat the same like lights are flashing as earlier that you take to mean the signalling of the dread.
Red
and-
location that signal.
You notice after a while what they're exclaiming about. the ship is getting smaller. Rapidly.
Like it's going away, or it's
Are they
Is it-
sinking?
It seems to move away from you in a straight line. And as it
towards
goes...
Lagia?
Sorry?
Towards our location, or the
No,
port?
away from you. It's getting smaller
Away.
as it goes into the distance.
And is it's like it's sailing away, or it's like just going sideways away from us?
It looks like it's going sideways. Based on
Not meant to do that.
the direction of the light.
But like towards Palakstad or the portal?
We don't know which direction.
You don't know
Alex
which
is.
direction Palex that is, but away from you and the portal, you are in between the two. And eventually and the last ship, the lights disappear fully. And
I'm
you,
sure it's fine.
you see
Is this bedtime? Maybe is that why? Please tell
Oh,
me.
we don't need any signaling oil now.
You might want to stay awake.
Scarp suggests he doesn't even say anything. He just kind of takes back the looking glass and walks up to the quarterdeck, and you see Scarp, Harper, and Captain Aubrey all gathered, talking in hushed tones. You hear murmurs and grumbling from the men on the deck, and everyone is very, very quiet. And it's a few minutes before I ask you for a deck save, please.
All of us.
Imagine 4 minutes of nothing and all of a sudden deck save.
Dex saves from everyone was there.
Yes, all three of you.
Natural 20. For a total of 21.
6.
Okay.
Like, roll of 6.
Hobart, will you have rejoined the group at this point, or are you still stood in the precarious spot by the light?
I think I'm like, where was the light? Was it at the front?
Light's all the way at the front of the ship.
Yeah, I think I maybe like would have taken like a couple steps back or something,
Oh.
but that's about it. I think
Then I'd
Okay.
kill you.
You
I'd be like really sort of confused, looking back and forth at everyone.
You manage to steady yourself as the ship is bumped hard by something off the starboard side. And there's a lurch.
Oh, is that another ship that's come to us, or?
Can I get a perception check from you, Hobart? The other two of you manage to steady yourselves. In fact, Laura, you help Dr. Falkirk as he is about to
12.
stumble over. Hobart, you don't see a ship. You don't have particularly good night vision, but you've got light.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely casting the light.
There is no ship on either side of you, and definitely not in the direction that you were bumped from. And as you fall, you kind of catch yourself on a sailor who stood by you, and he's managed to keep his balance. And as your hand is like kind of cuffed on his trousers, you you pull your hand away and you realize it's wet. The other two,
Happy to see me?
Very happy.
Dr. Falkirk thanks you profusely. It is, what the hells was that? And he goes silent. And then you
Wait,
see his,
if I look at this sailor,
Mhm.
is his whole clothing wet?
Just a
You
little
can't
bit.
tell, it's too dark. All you know is that your hand is wet.
I mean, I'll sort of, because I got the light on my ring.
Okay. So you're bringing the light closer to the sailor.
Yeah, I'll sort of turn and like point my fist at him almost with the light.
Okay. You see that it looks as if the sailor is or has been wetted at some point. He kind of looks down at you with a confused but stern look.
What? Have you fallen into the water?
No. Have you?
No.
Well,
I just
there
look
we go,
around
then.
confused, like, what?
just be careful not to fall anymore. And he walks off and begins winding up.
I'm walking back to the party.
You return to the party just in time to hear Dr. Falkirk shout at the top of his voice, and run around the deck, going, "Turn out the lights, every single light on the ship. This one, that one. Who the hell's lit this fucking great magic one?" And you see,
I'm just gonna get rid of my light behind my back.
okay, so that light goes out. You see the captain shout, "Falkirk, what the hell are you doing?" And he just responds, "But the lights! Just turn out the fucking lights!" And he's running around, and you're kind of surprised to see the captain just kind of shrug and go, "Well, okay." And he orders all the lights on the deck to go out, and it's just plunged into darkness. Carl, if you do keep a light
No, yeah,
spell,
I
it's
get rid
gonna
of.
have to
I
be-
ju-
yeah.
I'm
So
putting
it just
behind
goes
my back and
dark
I'm
for
getting rid
you.
of it.
You can feel Malachi,
Malachi's hand on your head.
yeah, on one side,
Yeah,
and Lorient
yeah.
on the other. But it is dark. And then a few more minutes pass, and there's another little bump. This one not as heavy, this one from the other side. And then a few more minutes pass, and you hear a splash come off from in the distance. Malachi and Lorient, you can't see, even with your dark vision, you can't see that far, but it's a big splash. And then about 10 minutes later, the clouds start to clear up and a bright moon shines out over an empty ocean. Those of you with dark vision, you can see well enough to see there's nothing around you. But equally, there are no ships in the distance anymore. And a breeze starts to pick up. And you hear the captain give a troubled shrimph of "about damn time" as the sails start to fill ever so gently and the ship starts to move, and in very quiet voices orders are given and instructions are made. Can I get an additional perception check, please?
You know what? I'll say it. Not a big fan of sea
disadvantage,
travel.
right? Disadvantage on mine. Well, not persuasion.
Yeah, that'll be
And
disadvantage.
I guess
your
mine's
perception.
like based on hearing
11.
mostly.
For an 11.
Got a
11.
nat 20 on that persuasion. Maybe you could have gotten advantage on perception.
Okay. Deslin, you notice as the captain's giving out orders, over the next half an hour or so, everyone starts to kind of find their position and just do what they've done thousands of times over. With the exception of yourselves and two sailors who seem to be avoiding work, standing in places that seem unobtrusive, and occasionally walking up and down deck.
I cannot
Looks
see
like a
anything.
retail worker to me.
What is going on?
Can I insight these two people not doing anything?
You can,
Seem
yes.
like they're charmed in some way. Or...
And Carl, the light of the moon is enough for you to see your immediate surroundings,
Okay.
but not very well. But you can see Malachi, and you can see.
I can see outlines of things or something.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
So, what was it in particular you were inciting for there?
Trying to see if they seem charmed or something like that. They're acting their own volition.
Okay. From just having a look at them, you can't tell if they're charmed, but they're definitely acting differently. They're definitely behaving as if they're trying to not look as if they're acting differently. And you can see one of them, he'll occasionally go and talk to someone who's clearly busy, and as that person tells him to piss off and get back to work, he'll go and stand and coil some rope or something, and then he'll repeat the process over and over again. But he'll avoid you, and he avoids the officers. But methodically, he's following the same pattern.
You always going to the same person?
No, different people, but the same process. Try and talk to someone. Go and do busy work. Try
Are
and talk
either
to
of
someone.
these people from the Bright Spots crew?
One of them is. One of them's wearing the same hat that the... Well, you think one of them is. One of them's wearing a Bright Spot hat, but he's wearing Flagstaff trousers and shirt.
We might not be surrounded by simple sailors.
I cast magic armor.
Good idea, little one.
I don't think you call
Yeah.
it magic armor, is the proper name
Ma-
for it.
ma-
that you
mage armor.
definitely know.
Mage armor. I don't know. I
Magic
went blank on
armor.
it actually. I went blank on it.
Mage armor is the D20 version, so it's copyright free. One second.
And
I do one more divine sense for a good measure.
okay, remind me what that flags.
Celestial fiend or undead within.
Okay, no, you don't get anything.
Okay.
The officers continue to talk over in the distance, and it's about an hour before you hear a yell from down in the hull of the ship, and the sound of people rushing down there.
Grab.
From the what? The back of the ship?
Hobart.
Down in the bowels of the ship, one of the lower
Oh, balls
decks.
and shit. Oh shit. Okay.
Grab Hobart and start heading in that direction.
Oh
dragging him
shit.
along with
Okay.
me.
In that case, I don't give a
carry
fuck.
him
My
out
light's
as a
back on.
shield.
My light's back on now. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Carrying him like a flashlight.
Like what?
Light.
And yeah, you. Wait, that's not. Huh? Oh, did I tell that wrong one? There we go. So you hear this scream coming from downstairs. It's a guttural kind of terror scream.
A manly
And-
man, woman, man,
Man, by the sounds of it.
real man. Okay.
And so you're all going down below deck.
Yeah.
Tiny guy goes, I go.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm following Lauren.
Can I get one last perception check, please?
Alright. So this is with my light
Hey,
on.
that's
So
funny.
Jeez.
I
See
rolled
them.
a 2.
I can re-roll that because I'm lucky.
You're actually
can
holding
re-roll that.
Hobart facing you as you go, like pinned to
There
your
you go.
chest.
13.
13.
I've just got it up in front of my face so I can't actually see.
Okay. Oh, what was yours, Angus?
It's a 2.
2? Okay, right. That's fine. So we got the
Not a
blind leading
natural
the
1,
blind, though.
just a 2.
Okay. Deslin. Malachi notices as you guys begin to make your way downstairs, following everyone else where the loud noise was. You see the sailor who has the wrong hat, and another sailor who you realize looks wet, have both approached the quarterdeck and are stood either side. Here and here.
Say, guys, I think we might be in a horror campaign.
A whole campaign.
You know what I said.
In a horror campaign.
Wait, what?
Dark
Do
Campaign.
I see that, or is it
You-
just
you- You see the guys that stood
Yeah.
there, but they don't really catch your attention.
Okay.
They look like sailors.
Say, with me, come on, and then I'll start
What?
making my way up there. Follow me, you blind bastard.
Who said that?
Okay. I follow.
Swings a punch in the opposite direction.
And as you get closer, you see immediately that this guy is very wet. And as he catches your eye, he looks up at the captain, and then he looks down at the deck at another sailor, and then he looks over the edge of the boat.
If he goes for any of these three, you can tackle him.
He doesn't move.
Can I whistle to the captain and then point to both?
What's going on?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you whistle. All three officers look at you. And then, as you point to him, the captain kind of looks at him and then squints his eyes. And he leans over to Scarp, who then looks and shakes his head. And you see the captain begin to draw a sword
Okay.
as we roll for some initiative.
Yeah, Malachi, say I would just go back behind his back to his fucking shotgun.
That's what
I'll-
I say.
Uh,
Nice.
21.
Have I put...
Oh, we didn't have a turnover open.
Yeah, that's alright. Turn order.
Oh, it's
Oh,
put me
yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
21.
Yay.
Hey.
Oh, you fucking
Wow.
kidding me?
Okay.
Wait, why did I roll twice?
I don't know, but the second one's much
It
better.
was 11 though.
Twice as better.
Why is Forrest walking around? Oh, this is from the old combat.
Oh, it's because my mouse is going. Yeah, it's my mouse. Because sometimes my mouse presses twice now. It's going off.
How do we get rid
Something's
of
with the sensor.
Marty, Devon, Jacob?
Click on the track.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sensor just gets
okay.
bad.
I'm gonna just
Oh,
do
and how
all the-
many? You said this was months before the last campaign?
This was 39 years before the last campaign.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, good thing I'm an elf, so at least I'll still be able to play Malachi if Temerity dies.
Mhm.
Assuming Malachi.
Question. I think I'm being stupid. How do I... Oh, there it is. Initiative. Nice going, Captain Aubrey.
You had warning and everything. Stupid.
And then I need to go here.
You know, the best description I ever heard of cowboys or American horse pirates. So in this sense, I'm also kind of the sea. If I'm an American horse pirate. Angus just nuts.
Ah, that's-
Yeah, I'm into that.
True.
okay. Sort. All right, Malika, you're up first.
Okay. So the captain drew his sword.
Yep, he's drawn his sword. Scarp's seen it. He's drawn his sword, and Harper, his hand is reaching for a pistol that's in his belt.
Okay.
The captain kind of catches your eye with a kind of a stern resolution, as if to say, "Do violence. It's okay."
Do violence. It's okay. Okay. Cool. I'll come up here and do a shoot. I'll walk forward a little bit, brace against this like
violence.
railing going down to the deck, and then just like draw the shotgun and then fire it.
He just walking up as if you're going to talk to the guy, and then just
Yeah.
okay,
Common way to like mug and stab people. You walk up all friendly, then you stab them. Anyway,
roll it.
fucking shoot. Pew. 22.
22 at 10, so that's 24. I'm kind of
yeah.
having to nerf these. Yep, that
It'd
hits.
be 15 feet too, thanks to my master soldier man. Groovy. So, bam, 12. The sneak attack on there as well. And just to see if I could do this, feet. Diggity diggity doo. So many menus in all 20. Whoop. Nice. So I'll go up and shoot, and then ghost pirates or fuckery, who knows, go up and then assault this other guy in the distance for
Okay.
half the amount of the sneak attack damage. Thanks
So
to
that'd be
Will of the
7.
Grave.
Okay.
It's technically twice. It's half the dice. Do you want me to roll again, or just use half?
No,
for
we'll just half
simplicity?
it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay,
Groovy.
that's a lot of damage.
Yeah. It's the knight is as silent as our music bot at the moment, and then a massive shotgun rings out.
Okay.
Groovy. Yeah, that'll be me.
Cool.
Trying to leave some space in case the big guy wants to run up here.
Yep, Lorian, that's you, please.
Oh, and I'll hide as a bonus
Okay.
action. Put on. Quiet.
Oh, thought disconnected. Then it
No,
was
no,
just
it's
off.
it's the bloops.
Alright, I am gonna come running up, doing 15 to there, and I am going to swing my glaive at this motherfucker.
Okay, swing away.
Get his ass. As the youth
It's a 16.
16
That's
hits.
a strike. It does. And I am going to up a divine smite into this as well. As 8 plus 4, 12 slashing damage.
Nice.
And is this creature a fiend or undead?
It's neither.
It does another 5 points of radiant damage on top.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to swing and try and hit him again.
Okay, go for it.
Another shit roll, but 13.
13 hits.
Nice.
Hits. Okay. So it's another 1d10 damage. Which is 6 plus 4. Although I think that should be 5. Check that. Another 10 points of slashing damage. And I'm not going to smite on that one.
Okay.
With my polar master feat, so let me just check that against my.
Bonus action twat. Bonus action twat.
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action twat with the blunt end of my glaive. That's a lot. 24 to hit.
And that hits.
And that does 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay, very nice.
Does it look like the damage is going through?
You're definitely doing damage to this poor sailor.
Okay. An appropriate amount for the hitting I'm doing.
Yeah, a very appropriate amount.
Excellent.
You might say this thing is
that-
looking worse for wear.
Excellent. That is the end of my turn.
Okay. So the thing that you have been hitting, the sailor that you have been hitting, as you've been striking into it, it almost seems as if bits of it are falling away and then reconstituting, and as blood splashes around the floor with your strikes, you notice that it is white and viscousy.
0.
Slightly
Forever haunt
glittery.
us.
Slightly glittery.
And he's just disappeared.
Yeah, he'll be back. And the one in front of you, Lorient, changes appearance. Its visage becomes scaly and predatory, and you see bloodied, broken
I'm still predator.
lips split outwards wide,
It's the Demogorgon
a few feet
from Stranger Things.
wingspan of the mouth, if that makes any sense. As it
Yell out, watch out, it's a legally distinct predator.
as it emits a high-pitched screech and kind of lurches forwards at you, almost uncoordinated. And it attempts to latch onto your face.
Mr. Tired?
Yes, it's a 21.
21 does hit.
Odd sailor, I would say.
And it hits you for 9 piercing damage. As it
Okay.
clamps on, you feel the pressure of the teeth in the back of your head as it rends flesh.
I'm impressed it can get over my horns.
Did it grapple or do damage?
It just did damage.
Just did damage, okay.
But then it claws out at you, Malachi.
How dare you? Did you get any cover for the railing? That was supposed to be.
I suppose thingy is in the way.
Oh, also I am hiding by stealth.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
That's a 20. We'll give it disadvantage because of the positioning. 17.
3/4 cover or whatever would only be like +2 to my AC, so he would hit me. Yeah, okay. That hit. Ow, you.
So it
Even
did hit.
disadvantage. Yeah, both of them. How dare you?
Where's the damage? Oh, I didn't put the damage on that one. The doy. That is. Okay, cool. Let me just add that in.
– 47 damage. Oh no.
There we go. Let's reroll that. Yeah, 9 damage, please.
Okay.
And you
Gonna
are
uncanny
pushed.
dodge that while I can.
Okay, cool. So that's 4, and you are pushed backwards 5 feet.
Ow. Coming up the stairs calling, Malachi just comes flying against the railing.
As the scream happens, you hear an echoing scream from your left. Sorry, from your right. As another one of these creatures comes running around the corner. And it kind of slides as it catches up with itself. And it makes a beeline straight for you, Malachi. And it is going to let out a very intimidating... What the hell is the bloody thing? It's going to open its mouth wide as it runs at you. And you're going to have to succeed on a DC 12 wisdom save, please.
Wisdom. Nope. Great.
Okay, you are frightened of this creature until its next turn.
Bald. But sucks.
As is Scarp. And it turns and it just claws the shit out of this sailor.
Alright.
And he just goes,
I'm okay.
bleh. He gets knocked 5 feet to the
There was
side.
2 there.
What about the guy under him?
He's okay. Okay.
How many sailors are in that one stack?
Hobart.
Hobart is going to attack this one that just came out of nowhere. He's like, and he points his fist with his signet ring, and he casts. He sort of like opens his hand as he does that, casting Chill Touch on it.
Okay.
Why is it not rolling? I thought I set it to roll. Roll, attack. Yeah, I'll do attack. That's weird. Let me. Okay, it's under. Okay, never mind. I will make a thing like that then.
You should have it under
That's a
attacks
12. Oh yeah, that's true.
on your
Yeah.
call page.
Yeah.
A 12
That's
hits.
a 12 to hit. So that is 2d8.
Okay, very
Is
nice.
that 2d8?
Nice.
Not 2d8. Yeah, 10 necrotic damage.
Okay,
and
you
if it
can't
if it
recover.
is undead, but it's not
Oh.
because
Yeah, it's not.
thingy did the thing.
I would have tried that.
Yeah, you already checked that.
Okay, anything else from Hobart?
That was my action. Bonus action I have not. Hold on, I don't think I got that, but I don't want to do that. No. No, that's it.
Okay. Aubrey and the other officers, they try and... Well, Harper tries to see what's wrong with Scarp. As Aubrey shouts out and points to the deck of the ship, at the very fore, as you see over the
Uh-oh.
edge, clambering these weird, almost gelatinous-looking creatures.
Well,
Completely alien in their appearance. How do I show you a picture? I don't know, I'll figure it out another time. Here we go.
Whoa.
I can't figure out how to show stuff on all time. Bloop. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
Creepy, squiddy, ghosty, mucusy, vile
Wireless.
creatures come over the deck. One of them immediately grabs a sailor and just jumps backwards with him into the water, disappearing
Good.
from view.
that's what I would do.
The other one approaches these sailors and begins to attack them. Aubrey jumps down, and as he's running past this one, he gives it a swipe of his sword.
Go, Captain Aubrey, you sweary bastard.
And then he kind of slides down the railing of these steps and makes his way into the center of the ship. Malachi, you are afeared.
Yeah, not all too happy about that bit. Any other bad guys down here aside from the one to the north?
So there's the one to your left, which feared you. There's the one that's directly near Lorient.
Mm-hmm.
And can I get a perception, please?
Okay. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. 13.
Okay. You notice there is another one clambering. It's not on the deck yet, but it's clambering up right by where Captain Aubrey is.
Okay. That's ideal then. Penny's worth. As you start to run up and then cast his spells, Malachi gets thrown against the thing. His shotgun, single barrel, is smoking, cracks it open, fucking murmurs to himself, frustrated, and then just like kicks up and then over the railing. And I'm going to try to get closer to this guy, fall down basically, closer to this guy, and then take a shot once I'm in range.
Okay.
And then I cannot see this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Quite alarm. Groovy. In that case, I'm just going to shoot this guy. Sounds
Okay,
like
go
a
for it.
plan. Gonna point my gun like just over the captain's shoulder. Give him just like a millisecond to react and duck. And then I'm going to fire. Bam.
Okay, yeah,
Beep, beep,
25 definitely hits.
Nice. 10. Boop, boop, boop. Sneak. Because all I need is
19.
advantage. If he's not in sight, then I'm not at disadvantage.
Very nice.
Boop, boop, boop. And then I'm going to once again use the spirits to attack this motherfucker who has me afraid.
Okay.
So. Oh, I already built this into the sheet. Very helpful. Where's of the dead? Good job, past me.
Okay.
Spooky damage for this guy. Everything else to that guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I'm just going to hold.
Hey,
By
Lorient.
hold, I mean I'm done.
Okay.
You just got smoochied by this critter.
Is he
Can
still
I pull out a
attached
knife with my
to me?
bonus action hand?
No, he will have let go. Sorry, what was that, Ethan?
I just pull out a knife for my offhand
Oh,
deck.
Okay.
Just an FYI, guys, I'm really flagging staying awake right now.
Oh,
nicely done.
okay. Half past. We've not got far long.
yeah.
To
Let's
last
do Lorient's and Hobart's remaining. Just get to top around.
That's an action. I don't want to do that now.
It'd be helpful anyway. Call my cars in the shop, so I need to go get that before I go to work.
Alright, I'm gonna just fuck this guy in particular.
Oh, dear.
It's a 10 on the first strike.
A 10 misses,
Okay.
I'm afraid.
And a 15 on the second strike.
That's a good hit.
Okay. And we'll Divine Smite into that one as well. Just at first level. So I need my D10 and my D8. And Great Weapon Fighter, reroll my 2. Ooh, that's nice. That turned into a 10. So that's 10 points, 14 points of slashing damage, and then 10 points of radiant damage.
Nice. How would you like this thing to die?
As it sort of bites and jumps back down, it sort of just steps back, swings with the first glaive attack and misses, and then just double-handed, like fly swat a massive kill on it, just splits it in half. It was the extra radiant light flares through it as he sort of yells with the strike.
Yeah, this thing, as you miss the first time, it kind of gives you a smirk and slowly opens its mandible things wide, and then you just like it down the middle, and as it falls backwards, it retakes the form of a quite thin-looking human male as it bleeds out on the deck. Anything else from Lorient?
I'm gonna move 5 foot in this direction,
Okay.
and that will be my turn.
Yeah, doesn't you need to hop off like now?
No, we can finish the round.
Okay, cool. So this one's gonna come at you, Lorient, and it's gonna attack you. With a 2 claw attacks. One's a 15, and one's a 9.
Neither of those hit.
Okay, it claws pathetically at you, and can't seem to hit. This one that's been shot is going to come, and it's going to jump up onto this, these steps, and then it's going to lunge at you, Malachi.
I got loads in another round.
It's going to be doing the face grapply bite, and it only does a 9. And then in frustration at its obvious miss, it's going to claw out at you for 23.
Yeah, that
For 7 damage.
well,
and
I'm going to uncanny dodge again because I have a reaction.
And it's going to push you. It actually swaps places with you. It's got quite a strong grip, so as it kind of claws at you, it kind of pulls you up, and it moves to the other side. And the one up here is going to just kill that guy. And then we're going to get one of these guys. It's going to pop up over here. And he's going to swing at Harper for with his trident. I've got to say they have tridents. 14 and a 16. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sucks to be you, Harper. Alright, and then Hobart. Finish off the round for us.
Hobart, this one is too close to him, so I think Hobart is going to draw his revolver.
So I came out blasting.
And he's going to go poof, poof, twice.
Twice?
Look how ubiquitous that means.
Into the one in front of him.
Was Hobart this good? Oh, please don't.
So how do I do this now? 2 attack rolls?
Yes, 2 attack rolls.
2 attack rolls. Alright, so that's 1.
Nice.
Hey,
Nice.
roll the other. 19, not bad.
Okay, yep. Roy, you're
so,
right.
Oh, yeah, it's a +2 to hit as well from being really
Yeah.
close.
Yes, you've got. Yeah, the roll was a 0. I'm gonna have to nerf these if this becomes a longer side campaign.
Yeah,
Um,
you will.
Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah, very
two hits.
So 1 and 2, 16 damage.
Would
He's
these
got a
not be
natural
at
10 on
disadvantage
attacks.
because you're within 5 feet?
No, revolvers have 0 to 30 as their
0 is 30.
ideal. Because you can just hold a revolver like here. Rifles have a
You do
disadvantage.
the same thing with the hand crossbow, Michael.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, if you're... Oh, that's your game. But,
Yeah.
I go for the realism. If you're lying down and they're right by you, they don't get
Okay.
disadvantage on the shot either. 'Cause that would be
Yeah, I
silly.
agree with that. It makes sense.
Yeah, if you're 5 feet away from someone and they're
Yeah,
lying
it's like,
down.
oh
it
no,
kinda
you're
makes sense.
you're prone.
You're a good pocket.
My
Yeah,
plan.
when you're further away, it's obviously. gonna
You're
be a
less
small
likely to
target, but-
move. Okay, yeah, both those hit. Okay, yeah.
Do I blast
This-
it enough to?
You don't blast
Kill
in
it?
enough to kill it,
Damn.
but it's definitely blooded.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
somewhat seems concerned as to what the tiny thing in your hand just did.
See, that was that. I could Misty Step away, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. And then Captain Aubrey is just going to take a swing at this thing with his trusty sword. And
He swings
he's-
around to get advantage.
Good point. He takes the advice that comes to him in his head, and he chops into this thing quite nicely, and it's also looking blooded. And
Nice.
with that, we will pause this combat to be returned to
Oh, lovely.
next session, which will be a few weeks from now, and then we'll see what happens. So, Carl needs to go to bed, doesn't need to go to work. Thank you for joining us. Anyone who's joined us, we appreciate you greatly, and we will see you after a brief hiatus of 2 weeks, I think. 1 week, 2 weeks. I don't know. Look for the notification. Goodbye.